Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to 2 Point Museum, where today I've gone ahead and I've pinned the objectives to unlock Wyvern Way because I feel like this is an important thing and I keep forgetting about it. It keeps getting shuffled to the back of my mind while we're doing everything else. But I really do want to unlock this and get the quote-unquote dinosaur bones that I'm pretty sure are going to be that dragon we killed. I think we deserve to have that thing on display. So we need to pull some fantasy stuff for the purpose of deconstruction. And obviously the place to do that would be like down here somewhere, right? We need to pick something that we don't already have. A place that drops things that we don't already have all the knowledge for. And you know, honestly, like Folktown here is probably a really good example. It takes double Potion Master to not get MIA'd out here, which is crazy. But that's okay. Tanisha can take that out and activate the character development part of the node at the same time. And then we can... let's throw you out here. Yeah, this should be fine. This is not a terribly expensive node. We'll go in detailed mode. How leveled up is it? It is plenty leveled up. So we could save a little bit of money, or we could push a little bit of XP. I'm inclined to push XP. All right, there's stuff there that we could still use, but also there's stuff there that we could grind up, and then we can continue working on the Tug-O-Warus node as well, which was
Please excuse the exhibit that requires restoration. I'm pretending.
Ginormous Rock. Yes, critically important. The rapid restoration and everything. Very expensive stuff. And so that's our next little bit. Letting people get their faces healed and then taking care of stuff like that. Our space expert, that means, should be available to actually do space restoration. Oh, we need a bathroom. This area needs a bathroom. We're actually very far away. The only client-facing bathroom is over there. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's my plan for the next major expansion of the place is obviously to grab the rest of this stuff and direct the guests in a flow that goes more like that. So it might behoove us to put a bathroom like here. Let me expand the building. Let's say we grab all of this. We'll fix the wall stuff later. Yeah, but let's say we grab all that. And then we bathroom a 4 tall area like right here. Arbitrarily, this is the size of this bathroom. And you know how I want to set this up, right? We're gonna have the toilets in the center, and I'm not going to put all of them in right now because they're expensive. But we can do some and then just partition off the side of the room. Because right now, not only do we not have toilets nearby, but we also just don't have enough toilets for the kind of guests that we're, the density of guests that we're hoping to host. This might be too much space devoted to the bathroom, I think. It's entirely possible. Alright, and a bin right there gets us to 3. And then we don't really have to partition this off, but it'll look a little better if we throw it on. It doesn't want to let me do that. Okay, you know, that's fine. And there's also just space for that to turn into something later. And when we do that, obviously we'll just grab the whole this whole assembly will just shift down and then eventually out of the thing.
You remain crime while security takes a break.
Yeah, look at the number of people, the number of people who are thinking that, who are thinking, "Gosh, I sure do have to go to the bathroom." Actually,
Exhibit requires restoration. It really is a shambles.
so I knew we had a space button display, and then I don't remember what else we had, but a mega map of the known universe in this area is going to look pretty good, right? That looks cool. Right next to the tour. Yeah. Rad. Alright, I had to go to the bathroom so bad I needed to leave the museum is hopefully not one of the major problems we are facing, but it definitely won't be now. Oops. Can't believe I forgot that. Especially when I was like putting in the drink machines and stuff. Listen, museum curatorship is hard. There's a lot to keep in your head. Actually, I will run a partition across here. What are we...
Museum security
There we
are
go.
operating in this area.
I was gonna say, what is so illegal about my partition? Yo, kid, what is that? Did you buy that in my gift shop? You had a wish granted by a tea kettle. Was that wish that you had a cool polar bear onesie? Because I don't think we sell those. But we fucking should. That's brilliant. This is not a child, it's a dwarf, by the way. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, lots of good stuff going on here. Reach enlightenment level. We're going for it. We're trying. All negative events all the time, of course. And we got a piece of the Catfleury statue. Send that to the inventory for a moment. I don't know what to do with that.
Team are back to make up for lost time. Don't distract them.
Nobody actually took an injury though. It was just minor negative stuff. So I think we can head right back out there with the same folks until Morris hits his level 5, and then once he's done that, maybe we'll swap to somebody else and take one of these red events off the table so the character development is guaranteed.
To our team departing on an expedition.
But unfortunately, Morris, the bard, is the one who needs the thing most, so it's kind of frustrating that he doesn't. We don't have a way to force him to benefit from it.
Typical.
What I might do with this actually is pull this up a little bit, and maybe it makes a little more sense to rotate it, and then have this Catfleury thing be the last thing in this fantasy flow down here. If I move you guys up a little bit, yeah, I want to make sure that the flow is still there, right? Okay, and that'll be cool, and maybe it'll get added to the tour once we get the other pieces. Where is my space expert right now?
That matters. 2 Point Radio. I'm Sir Nigel Bickleworth.
On a break. Okay,
the
well,
reason we're all here.
I do need to let that happen, but please hurry.
It's all terribly exciting, but you'll have to wait because it's time for some music. I'll be back.
All right,
Yes,
we really
stuck in the
do.
museum. Someone should probably help them.
We really do only have the ability to benefit actually from one of our helicopters at a time, and that feels terrible. They gave me these 2 helicopters, and I want to be using them constantly.
Vandals caught vandalizing. We stopped them.
It's just very difficult. People using this thing and then running over to here, I guess? It must be. The problem is that running a constant treadmill of expansive expeditions is also expensive. It's more expensive than it is expansive. Okay. A golden goblin statue, fortunately, will gather us some more gold. And maybe the cavalry statue doesn't end up being the last item in the flow. Maybe it makes a little bit more sense. It's blocking the cabinet less. Alright, potions, and still you.
As a reminder to resist the urge. You're doing so well.
Oh, hooray, we're finally getting our exhibits dusted off. Okay, a dwarf guest is just mining the floor. So you look, how are you doing? Just kind of checking things out. I mean, you're feeling pretty all set. Your food, your happiness level is 100%. The guests are mostly pretty pleased with the way we're taking care of all their needs and stuff. I mean, happiness level is at 97% on average. We really aren't going to be able to do too much better of a job than that. I don't want to sound callous, but the needs of our guests are not the problem we are having. We just need to get attendance levels up by about 30%, or retention levels up by about 30%, or we need to take off the exits. Unfortunately, we have to do that very strategically because people got to be able to get in. It's a tough one. We can make all of the doors one way. I mean, it's, you know, it's not an option. Department of Culture is coming to evaluate our entire collection. Well, I think they're going to find that it's rad, unless they come on one of the many, many days when our space expert's asleep, in which case they're going to find that it's filthy and barely functional. Oh man, are we actually going to build up enough money to get that other node running? It does look like not really, right? So I think it's more important to stick to this.
Expedition complete.
All right, even more catfillery. Terrifying, impressive, but pretty adorable. The goblins found that exceeding 3 members caused undue conflict within the unit. I suppose that makes sense. Alright, has that got our bard to fight? It doesn't. But this will. This has got to. Can you believe how many trips it takes to get just like normal level ups going? It's terrible stuff.
Announcement: our conservation standards are being inspected.
All right, I think we're doing pretty well. So yeah, like I said, the hall will like basically wrap around like this and come up here, and then if we wanted to, we could then expand into, you know, any number of future plots pretty easily and have the museum just be sort of like a spiral shape, sort of a nautilus. A nautilus of knowledge, if you will. A horn of history. A sort of muddled, spirally shape of museum-ness. That's technically still alliteration. And you can't stop me. No matter how hard you try. Okay, pair of assistants. And yeah, we're taking a survey scanner. Watch your feet, everybody. Okay, watch your feet, and please let me post-date your paychecks maybe just for a second here. Yeah, we're stretched a little thin on staff, and when I send 2 assistants out at the same time like that, it does not help. An exhibit collector is going to show up. We might maybe be willing to sell something. I don't think it's totally impossible. I saw guest spike up at like 110 there for a minute. The bathroom does seem to be helping a little bit. Who would have thought?
Expedition complete.
Okay, Morris got his level finally. We still are only rolling the negative events though. It's not feeling so random to me. Alright, well, a coin of two sides. There's a lot of knowledge to be earned from picking up more of these. Can push goblin guests to either end of the morality spectrum. It's a little worrying when you say it like that. Yeah, I mean, I could just tack this right here at the beginning. Do you have your buzz bonus is good. And then I'm mostly not throwing stuff on the tour just yet, but this is a completely free
When you've been doing
pristine.
this as long as I have,
It doesn't even
you
take
have
them an
people
extra
asking
step
you
to get it.
questions
Jesus,
about
come
the
on.
industry.
Now.
The other day I was asked by an enormous fan how I keep the content of my shows so fresh after all these years. They had the cheek to ask if it was difficult to come up with material for the air. In short, no.
They had the cheek. Can you imagine asking questions while having cheeks? Terribly rude. Alright, who wants the next level up the baddest? I mean... Yeah, Mordred could certainly use it. Okay, and so we're trying to pull the rest of the cavalry statue. We don't, it turns out, get knowledge for burning those down. But as you saw, we'll be able to get a few points off of the coins for sure. And also, hopefully a few coins off of the other thing.
The whole segment about that. Inspiration can come from the most
Oh yeah,
clueless,
couple.
misguided places.
So that should be pretty good for us overall.
Are watching for your safety. Do you feel safe?
And then also, you know, maybe we'll complete a huge dinosaur skeleton in the interim. Wouldn't that be fun? People are fascinated by it. They're like, what do you think are the big wires coming out of it? Do you think it plugged into some other dinosaurs to form some kind of Zord? Possibly a mega Zord?
Announcement. Stolen exhibit has been retrieved from thieves. No one takes our stuff.
I know that sounds crazy, but just stick with me here. Imagine, what if a Zord was so super that it wrapped around
Expert
to Mega?
required to restore exhibit. You're the expert.
We could play with this tour a little bit. The biggest problem with this tour is that we're not technically all the same kind of stuff, right? Some of these are enchanted items, and some of them are cannon fodder, I think. All right, Brad Flog took an injury. Not a big surprise there. We got a second cave painting wall. An ancient depiction of the long weekend, a time when strange visitors arrived and overstayed their welcome. Well, the good news is this wants that same symbol as our other cave painting. And I can make this work. We're just gonna bump this whole thing over to the side a little bit. Is that rubbish on the ground, or what is it? Yeah. Yep, those sure are just crunched up water bottles. We didn't even sell those. Brought that shit from home to throw it on the ground in my museum. Why? Okay, yep, and that'll have the the same effect here. But for real though, why would you do this? I can probably pull this out to a slightly more central location now. And put these like over here. Okay. Do you have a buzz bonus that needs meeting? It wants to be near a prehistory rock. That seems very doable. Prehistory rocks, different from other rocks, obviously. Please don't sit on this. It's very expensive. Okay. Wow, only 5,400. That is a bad offer for a fossil.
There's medical attention.
Come on, guy, you're a professional. Even I know that. Although maybe it was meant to be offered as an insult. Maybe that was the whole point. Okay, most of our exhibits are in good condition. Right, I need to fix up my analysis rooms at some point.
For help indefinitely.
But, you know, it's tough. It's a tough one.
Expert needed to restore exhibit.
I
Thank you.
kind of think we maybe want to wait until that guy is repaired before we send anybody else out to that node. Just because it would mean, if we send them out beforehand, it would mean having 3 assistants off their feet, and I'm not sure if the museum can bear that. Hooray, the character development's happening. Only if you absolutely force it. There we go, look at that. And we can absolutely just tack that on the end of the tour and watch the star rating decrease. Damn. There we go. It's higher again.
Attention. Donation stands are full of money and unable to hold.
We are certainly over 4 stars at the very least. We're starting to pick up money faster, it looks like, which is great news. So we're hoping to not pull any cavalry statues anymore, but we can just keep hitting this for the moment as a way of generating XP on our characters. So, you know, I sent out the barbarian last time, but that's probably wrong. I probably want to be pushing people toward level 10. Instead of just leveling up whoever. Alright, I'm not sure really what changed, but we're making money at a more reasonable pace now. Send you and yeah, we really do not have enough assistants. Well, we can just hire one. And at this point, we're really hoping just to find the skeletons and stuff. So, yeah, I also want to push the survey level. The question is like, do we just bring a scanner and go speedy? We already have the chopper damage dealt with our pilot wings. I'm going to, yeah.
Deals in the gift shop.
And I'm going to hire one more assistant. We just need more assistants. I don't love doesn't have the skills you want and also has bad training speed. None of these ones are awesome, if I'm honest. I think I'd like to see another crop of assistants. Not that it would be so bad, I suppose, to have a second pilot wings. Oh, what's up? A giant man-eating snake emerges from the ground, its eyes scanning your team with rapacious intent. Well, I do feel like we should not feed it, because it will try to eat the man. So we eat it instead. Closing their eyes and imagining really hard, your team members can almost convince themselves they're eating chicken. Why would they need to?
The guests are hungry.
Why would they need to? That's rad. Do that thing. Let's say I don't want y'all in here.
Please
Okay.
excuse the exhibit,
I can
but
dismiss
requires
people and
restoration. I'm
in
protecting
doing so,
this
call for new
affair.
applicants. Yeah, I mean, I've never had man-eating snake before, but
Imagine a place
it could be
filled
good.
with
It seems like
things
it could be
you
good.
could never afford. Whoa.
David Radish,
Countless
welcome
priceless
aboard.
artifacts
Find
from
something to
every
do. I don't know what the most important thing is at the moment. Alright, Ginormous Rock is now able to give up the pristine stuff. And also, oh, I was not expecting more legs, honestly.
locked
How
away
confident
from
are we that we have the shape of this creature correct?
Well, keep imagining. Oh,
How would you express that as on a scale from 1 to 10? Alright, give me something I can break down. Yeah, that'll do it. And we already have that in pristine, right?
big spenders.
Yes. Wait, yes, okay.
Pristine exhibits will receive the same treatment as everyone else. There's no escaping the crate.
Alright, we're getting the thing done slowly but surely. I do appreciate that there is this like extra HP node just kind of sitting out here in the middle of everything. And it doesn't even damage my employees when I send them to it. Can you imagine? What a world. Doesn't even terribly mangle everyone who approaches. I have to say, I'm a little bit disappointed. You know, I part of the thing that I do find compelling about this game is the whimsical exhibit design and stuff. I'm a little bummed out to see that there are 2 pieces of this wall that are just the same gimmick. So you're just called Cave Painting Wall. You're called Cave Painting Corner. Yeah, they don't seem to have any way to connect or anything. Well, it looks like our assistant is healed up and ready to get back to work. And of course, by work, I mean, you know. And then let's pull somebody from... We have to hit 25 here, so we do need a level 7 or 8. Yeah, there's an extra sandstorm in the thing. I don't really care about that too much. Oh. Huh. I thought I clicked in here because we were at 30k. Weird. We must have lost some money right as I pressed the button. Okay, yeah, it doesn't terribly matter which one we bring, I think. And we'll go... Maybe I'll have a first aid kit, actually. Just to allow us to chain these a little bit faster.
It's no longer presentable.
XP matters, but we're not getting all that much XP for that. Managed to make it up to 123 guests in the museum at the same time without even
Is leaving now.
really changing too much. Just continuing to add more stuff, you know, helps a lot. Guests stay longer because they're looking at more things. And thus more people have come in by the time they leave. Also, giving them more places to linger probably helps.
There's a crate on the helipad. Oh,
That's a shame. This one we can't grind up. This is one of one, so
and the expedition
we're just
team
going to have to
has been
sell
sent.
that.
Also,
And we're probably not going to get very good money for it, is my guess.
our collective knowledge has increased.
Waiting for us to hit 14k here. Yeah, we just need to hope that that doesn't happen too many times, because it is a little annoying.
expedition team are departing now.
And I'm assuming it will hardly even sell for
I
anything.
don't have to go.
Yeah. It's almost like they don't want you selling the exhibits as a main way of accomplishing anything. Was this... What did we... It would have been deconstruction of a fantasy thing. Okay, yeah, there we go. Brazier, Castle Stone, Wall Chains, it's a classic.
Exhibit requires
Remarkable number of
shambles.
remarkable number of unlocks here. I would love to display your penny pincher. We'll throw it over here alongside the other things that are excited about money, I guess, or there we go. Is that gonna leave it in a spot where it has enough buzz? Oh yeah, that's fine. What are you missing? A merchant barrel, and you're missing a fantasy double banner. Okay, well, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for us to put a fantasy double banner out here for any other reason, but if you want one, you got one. And then who else? Somebody. Oh, it was this thing. It was the wardrobe, right? No, not merchant pot, merchant barrel. That is different, apparently. There we go. All right, I think we're good to get back to it here.
The ticket booth. Sadly, I can't.
I probably could just affix the exits with one-way portals real quick. We wouldn't have to do it for very long.
Dislodging.
Just get a couple of extra guests in. But honestly, I'm more and more confident that we don't need to really do anything here. Let's just keep building up as we will need to. We know that we're gonna have to have a higher museum level at some point, have a greater total buzz at some point, just because we've seen the kinds of objectives that they put on the stars. And so we'll just keep working toward that. This thing will happen when it happens, then we'll be more prepared for the next thing as well. I haven't talked too much about the soundtrack, but it would be very easy, I think, to make something that would get really annoying really quickly. And I appreciate that they did not do that.
Sir Nigel Bickleworth on 2 Point Radio.
Unfortunately, that one's a backup already.
2 Point Vote, which does look remarkably like our regular recordings.
And we're doing it. We're getting the enlightenment. It's happening slowly but surely. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. We don't really need to change anything about that.
We're here to enjoy a vintage moment.
Okay, excellent news. Part 3 of 5. Part 3 of 5.
My personal collection. How to choose.
So wait, we think the head's on that end, not on the end with the extra...
Darling, albeit slack-jawed nephew Kevin
Okay, I'm not an expert. I don't know stuff, but that doesn't...
James. Yes,
That doesn't seem like it can be right, does it?
Entry in the popular Meat Wizard franchise for Sir Nigel reviews. I was lost. I was cold. I was scared. The controller was sticky and the subject matter obscene. While I'm unsurprised that it appeals to the desensitized youth of today, I'll tell you what I told that chap in the deli. No one needs that much ham. One magical gem out of a possible 5.
Guess should stop feeling paranoid.
At least he's using a sensible rating system, something all gamers can understand. Because everybody knows you want as many magical gems as possible.
Announcement.
Up to certain values, like 7-ish maybe. At 7 magic gems, you're probably solid. If there's more than 7 to collect, you're gonna be real bored by then.
Exhibits is being inspected.
But you know, we have the money just sitting in our various collectible things.
Announcement.
It would be so cool if we could just go and collect it so that I could send out these expeditions. There we go. Yeah, 270 XP for both of them. That is an appreciable percentage of
Announcement.
getting to
Needs restoring. Typical.
of going to Wizards or Ghost School without all of the cost of going to Ghost School. Let's push you up as well.
Join me in saying farewell to the expedition team. They may never come back.
All right, I would love to send more people out to the prehistoric node, but they are not forthcoming. All right, so I pinned this so I wouldn't forget, but the pin is never visible, so I don't think it's really helping that much. All right, little bits of money getting deposited all over the place here and there. Robbery goblins are interested only in our donation stands. Well, I certainly still don't want them to get away with that, but we have a little bit of camera control now. Hopefully, what on earth? Are you a robbery goblin? Okay, you kind of walked through the wall, which was what gave him away. Remarkably, not, doing robberies. Hey, Jezebel, guess what? Your job is telling this guy to fuck off.
Certain levels of monotony, but they're not prepared for this.
Oh, and he damaged the stand. What an asshole. And it does suck to have to pull people off of donation collection
Before they could escape
to do this stuff.
That was a close one.
Can I? Yeah. And unfortunately,
To restore exhibit. You're the expert.
the robbery goblins damaging the stuff means that people don't have places to put money, and then distracting our security guards with having to walk them out means other robbery goblins have openings to grab money while the security guards are just walking away, It's all actually quite bad. Okay, you're a globetrotter. You made the mistake of putting on your employee survey, and now look what's happened to you. Yeah, I'm really back and forth on whether I think it's better to first aid kit or just take the heal and get some extra XP.
Announcement.
All right, something we can grind up. We're almost there. We're very close. Ah, you suck.
We're currently not taking donations.
All right, what are we at? 8?
Not as many as we
7.
could. Donation stands
7. Maybe we're not as close as I thought. Oh, well, sorry. We are at 8 because the 8th point is in the machine right now. Still, it's grim. The one thing that's really annoying about this statue is it doesn't hold nearly... it only holds as much as a small donation stand, So it is full constantly, and it keeps grabbing my attention to say that it's full. You know, the big red thing over here is very attention grabbing, but I don't actually care. That's not the important one. Oops, wrong map. Alright, Damselina and Tunisia and a journaling exercise.
Attention. Thieves have been prevented from
Oh no, an unreachable helipad. Yeah, and once again, we're having, like, thieves have been prevented from escaping, but it's another security guard not collecting the money from the stuff.
Announcement. Analysis complete. Learn anything good?
Alright, got ourselves another petition, which I don't know that I'm super excited about. Inspection rating of our collection was excellent, as well it should be. The shit we're doing down here, it's the definition of excellence. Alright, another 30k off the top. Do I want to use this money to, like, fund the construction of an additional interactive? I don't know if we have space for it. No, we definitely do. Sorry, that's the wrong room. We don't really have, like, a super futuristic
We are nearing the
thing
end
for
of
New Year,
today's
but we
show.
could
You know, I'd forgotten that last
teach
segment.
people about the
It's
frog
strange
legs.
What you find inside the 2-point vault. Oh, what fun! I can't wait to hear that blunder
Trying
back.
to get stuff off my screen. There's so many tooltips and
Quite enough of
and
that.
pinned
And quite
objects
enough of
and
this. Ta-ra!
all right, 125 by the way.
Expert required to restore exhibit.
We are in fact getting it done, slowly but surely. Okay, we still have headroom on this, yeah. It's part of the reason I was so excited to find this node is that when there is a thing that has a knowledge cap of 5. So this might be the last time we have to do this. Sorry, it definitely should be Damselina, who is rapidly approaching 10th level. And then, yeah, just XP up. I guess it doesn't have to be detailed, does it? A safe expedition would be just as good. And in fact, we have piloting skills. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about this, but now that we're only going for repeats. There we go. Apparently we kind of accidentally did it while we were focusing on other things, and that's rad. It was bad enough that you fled to the mountaintops, but to encourage others is incorrigible. I may not be sure why, and no matter, but I am terribly displeased.
2 Point citizens are visiting the Pointy Mountains in unprecedented numbers. Guests are making the lengthy trek to the literally lofty museum, while the Yetis finally have a marquee attraction on their frosty doorstep. No treks for them. Now the shoe is on the other, less hairy foot.
I mean, the shoe was never on the Yeti foot anyway. They definitely do not wear shoes. I think we can all see that. We can all see and enjoy that. All right, all of us at the Bigfoot Foundation are thrilled with your work. The elders want to entrust you with a secret location in the Bone Belt, a place where brave Yeti pioneers once traveled. Over time, the route became too dangerous. No Yeti has made the trip in my lifetime. The elders have heard tell of your journey and believe you are capable. Unlock Shag Summit. My guess is we're not going to have a hard time convincing people to go. It's just a feeling I have. All right, well, let's get this done. All right, piece number 4. Huh. Well, I do suppose that sort of makes sense. The tug-of-war-is, not what I was imagining. And when the helicopter comes back, we'll have a look here. What exactly is Shag Summit? How can I find it? Alright, display 3 epic quality frozen finds. Receive $30 or $30,000 of donations for frozen finds. Obviously, this is just going to happen naturally over the course of time here. We need double piloting skill to clear avalanche possibilities. And it only has one... only has one thing to discover.
Stuck in the museum. They
Well, that
may
is
need
curious.
dislodging.
Do we have a person with pilot wings who doesn't have anything else to me? Congratulations. I know you're already kind of our pilot, but now you're becoming our official pilot.
It really is a shambles.
And once he's finished that, he should be allowed to walk around the museum in a bomber jacket and aviators.
Announcement.
I think he's earned it.
The museum has a new
All right, one more thing we can grind up, please. Unfortunate.
exhibit, but we don't know what it is yet.
Well, let's send them right back out. We're not done until we're done. It's been solid for our XP. Both these people have gained like an entire level from doing this.
Expedition team leaving for.
Oh, right, that doesn't need... Well, whatever.
They may be sometime.
Whatever, I already clicked it. Do we have room for another frozen find? You know, we can make room.
Obviously.
I could move the door of the thing over. Probably, honestly, it's in kind of a weird spot as it is. Okay, looks like training is complete. So, do we have the stuff that it takes to get over there right now? Oh, well, sorry, I haven't unlocked it yet. Right, let me let me pin the unlock objectives. So I guess while we're still waiting for that to unlock, we're not done building our tug-of-war-is just yet. And I wouldn't be upset to come back with an epic or with a pristine version of this thing either. Obviously. You're level 9. You can probably just use you. Yeah. And then throw on the first aid kit.
Tension.
Safe expedition, everybody.
Reminded that they're
Not like safe expedition, but you know what I mean. Please come back with all of your body parts intact.
announcement. An exhibit needs restoring.
They even named the objective alpining after someone. They know what they did. They know what they're doing. I will absolutely not sell my publicity ray. It's producing so much publicity. What were you thinking? It is possible that we ought to have more frozen finds. There's certainly at least like an entire node worth of things we didn't go after, if I remember correctly. This isn't going to take that long. I'm just being impatient. But you know me. That's how I love to be. So we're getting a lot of 5-star reviews again. There was a dip there for a minute. I think it was probably due to
Returning.
just like things getting dirty. Oh, you both suck. All right, that works.
Fantasy. How was the flight you
So we're not done deconstructing that to take us to 9, and then once that's done, we'll do this one in our inventory. This we can just sell, and that's gonna unlock the Wyvern Way. So that means we need to come up with a new thing for this this plane to be doing, this helicopter. We need to be examining a different spot on the fantasy map. Now, obviously, I do want to figure out what's going on with the stuff we've opened up off of the Wobbling Goblin as well. The Jagged Jaunt here requires somebody with Fish Whispering level 3, which is quite a commitment, and 3 sea monster exhibits, although you could unlock this by just going over to the aquarium real quick. And in fact, I very well may do that. This requires an expert qualified in level 3 Poison Master, and we're getting real close to being able to do that. This requires, oh boy, so many stats. Like, out of curiosity, with all of our gear on, because I do have everybody's appropriate gear on, how close are we to these numbers? So we're 4 points off on Dex. We're bringing the Barbarian. Oh, I don't care about the teleportation trap, sorry. We're also, what is 4 points off on Dex? I don't know what I was looking at. So a strength potion would get us there, an intelligence potion would get us there, but unfortunately we cannot do both. And we're not anywhere close to having the levels to just beat these. Since the agility thing isn't actually that important, does Morris have... Morris has a little bit more intellect than the rogue. Not much, though. The rogue's got better strength. Yeah, they're both kind of just not quite what we're looking for. Alright, that's tough, but it's going to just require more levels. I'm going to go ahead and commit everybody's levels, actually. I know I've been trying to hold on to them to be like, in case we need to do something clever. But the fact is, I think I do just want everybody maxing out the stat that their class is related to. All right, can everybody just calm the fuck down for a second? I'm doing stuff. Okay. All right. Employee unhappy because pay. Okay, this one in the marketing office. You do want a pay rise. It's not that big of a deal on assistants generally. Okay, and then... No, museum map is extremely not what I wanted. How do you answer a... Here we go. The team reaches an eerie-looking settlement that's not marked on any maps. There doesn't seem to be anyone here. But there probably are lots of friendly locals who are just waiting for somebody to drop in and say friendly words to them, right? On closer inspection, the town is surprisingly charming and quiet. The crew have a memorable experience not totally dissimilar from sleeping overnight in a department store. Weird. That's quite weird. All right, you also are looking a mite unhappy with your pay. Your happiness overall is really high, but I'm going to fix that pay problem right now. Because you are too important to lose to something silly like that. So, our rogue needs to hit level 10. We are just exactly at level 9 right now. Seems to me we should probably... Every class has a guild hall, right? Basically, not necessarily a guild hall, but well, it would help if I was on the right map. So, like the wizard one's over here. This is the bard one. Where was? Here we go. Here's this one. So they all cost 25. Please get me additional stuff. But this one allows me to grab... Well, I guess, does this mean that I won't always get the bonus XP? because I do always want the bonus XP. You know what? It might be a better safe than sorry situation here to just go to Ghost College. And it'll take a couple of swings, but we'll get there.
Can you hear the grease saturating your food as it cooks? Can you feel your arteries clogging as you eat?
Sounds like a pretty okay experience to me.
Grease your diet with the Bungle Wind Oven. Now with 50% crispier air for that patented Bungle crunch. The Bungle Wind Oven. Cut the fat, not the crunch.
Staff can quit anytime they like. But that
All right,
doesn't
so
mean they
there's that. Satisfied soon enough. We're doing a really good job of unlocking things in general.
Expert needed to restore exhibit. Thank you.
All right, show me the last piece of this skeleton.
Good luck to our team departing on an expedition. I'm sure you'll need it.
Okay, rad. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Analysis complete. Our collective knowledge has increased.
What a majestic creature.
The expedition team are back from the bone belt. Find anything old?
All right, so I think one more of these ought to do it. We gotta repair the helicopter before we can send that off anywhere else. All right, and then we are probably done with this node, so the thing to see is, are we ready to hit this one? I mean, we have been here once before. There aren't actually MIAs on this. This one's not nearly as bad. But there's also no prehistory mysteries, which is a little bit of a shame, because that is the thing I am most interested in. There's still a corner over here that we don't have access to for whatever reason. Maybe you have to go through the Temple of the Blobs? Could be, right? Yeah, there's all these little tears that I just don't quite know what to do with. It does not... When we got the instructions to seek out the Yeti's hidden node, I had kind of hoped that it would be related to this stuff, but positionally it seems highly unlikely. Yeah. I don't know. Not sure exactly what I want to do next then. We could just go get those other things, even though they're not on type.
Required on exhibit. It's no longer presentable.
I mean, maybe it is time to start leveling up a marine life expert. 'Cause there are some cool new things that we could.
Announcement. Analysis complete.
There are some cool new things that we could access with just a little bit of the old. What do you call it? Words, brain. Never mind. I forgot them. Don't need them. Words are optional. All right. The path to Mount Gloom is winding and perilous. It's perfectly clear that it would be much, much simpler to fly over it. No wonder dragons don't walk. Had some snacks. The Dragon King of Scorched Earth was born in the margins of the fantasy world from a piece of rough illustration and the need for a central antagonist. It's actually a fascinating story, but this isn't from their perspective, okay? Made entirely of muscles and consummate V's. Oh dear. Well, so we can bring a dragon's something potion, right, to beat one of these. We're already going to be bringing our... Do we get all 4 of our experts? We do. They all have to be level 10. So we'll have some pretty decent stats by then. Between the lot of us, we should be able to access 40 luck. 45 dex might be a little bit more of a challenge. And then we can just, we could turn off the dragon's breath with a potion. Probably. Yeah, probably. And is he going to be the only... Hopefully there will be some more nodes up here once we finish him off. And I'm still curious about all this stuff. Well, let's let her come back from this and then train up. We'll see what that last node is before we go for the day.
Exhibit requires restoration.
While we slowly accumulate Frozen Finds money. I mean, it's a decent collection, right? We don't have a tour for this, which is probably a mistake. But then, you know, tours are always stretching our resources even thinner. Okay, so that plus the 350 should do the job. And guess what? You're immediately getting trained in a 3rd level of Potion Master. Find the appropriate books and get to it. I don't know how we have books that can teach that, considering you're probably the most advanced potions mixer in the entire universe. But we do, apparently.
Disinterested guests are reminded that not everything has to be a party.
So if we were going to set up... We do it like right here, right? And it would be like this. All right, and that's unlocked. Obscure City. Nestled in eternal night, this remote city is unfamiliar with guests and a total stranger to daylight. Though its warming glow is a comforting sight, it has drawn countless ships into the coast's jagged cliffs, like moths bursting eagerly into flames. Not a sentence by itself. Punctuation is... I just don't think it's that hard. I don't know why everybody's so bad at it. So we do have another workshop project here. Might be worth pursuing. And it's a pretty easy node altogether. It's a really easy node altogether, actually. Now, everybody's going to have to get to level 10. Well, it's worth using the survey skaters for the cannon fodder, I suppose.
Is currently offline. Don't do anything funny.
Alright, so we got that. We installed our tour over here, which will hopefully help lead guests to realize the beauty of our frozen finds.
Exhibit.
And it'll be even better once we, get whatever the thing from the Shag Summit is. Alright, coming to examine our space exhibits. That would make it really nice if they weren't all literally, literally all of them so filthy that they barely work. Did I not?
Announcement. Our collection
Shoot.
of space exhibits is being inspected.
Trying to grab Space Expert. Okay, you have to right click over here. Please restore the exhibits. Get a soda if you have to, and then please restore the exhibits. Alright, they're on it. They're just starting with the one that needs it the least for whatever reason. Yeah, see, somebody else can handle your tour. You're the only person who can handle this. Experts. You'd think with all of their PhDs and whatnot, they'd be able to figure this stuff out. Anyway, I do believe that before our expedition even comes back here, this is where I want to call it for today. Let the expedition returning from Obscure City start the beginning of our proper attempt to push through 4 stars. And I mean, we're getting there. It is getting done. Unfortunately, I don't think even one little bit of this has given us any clue as to where the previous curator has gotten off to. So we're sort of failing very majorly at that particular goal. Come back next time to see if we can find our focus and our footing, and we'll see you then.